The hunter gets captured by the game. Part 3. After he found out his woman was soliciting for sex in the streets, he was peed off. But she was ready for him. What were you doing that Friday night? I tried to get to you, but didn't you say you weren't coming by? Besides, if you can go out and have a little fun, why shouldn't I? That was how the conversation went. But let's you and me take a look at what else changed. Mr. Smooth doesn't look so good. To the Manosphere people, it looks like he has no control of his business. Everybody heard about his woman calling up, setting up sex dates. This is not what's supposed to happen to an alpha man. Sure, every now and then some random sex may happen, but this was like he didn't exist. She ran right through him. His rep took a hit. As for her, the fallout was bittersweet. With the women, she got mixed reviews. Some saw her as a threat. She was now known as a woman who may or may not be available depending on her mood. They saw her as somebody that their man might call with a threesome and get high in mind. And she didn't stick to the street decorum. She was every woman's worst fear, an angry, turned-out sex freak. She was now collecting men on the strength of her having been Mr. Smooth's hottest sex partner and leaving him. She was tired of taking what was supposed to be the inside lane. Now she was the star, the queen of street sex. To other women, she served as a warning to their men. If the man got too big and full of himself, a woman had choices she could make. But what about her? All she really wanted was to be loved. Now she had turned everything upside down. She had lost count of the men she had taken to bed. Now the men who knew of her exploits would not think of her as serious mate material. And to think of her as a wife was laughable. Everybody knew that when she got mad, she would find the person who would hurt you most and sleep with them, and make sure everybody knew. She had lost her boundaries. This was her game. She was now a woman with no shame. Taking men down was her revenge. Now, my friend, you have had a chance to see some of the emotional costs. Do you still think that this lifestyle is worth choosing? Do you want to have your emotional health depending on these broken people? Their lifestyle demands that they live a lie. They aren't happy. They are just trying to look good. They have forgotten about love, marriage, and having a family. Street life is like being addicted to drugs. You have to make a commitment to get away from what's poisoning your life. And if you don't take a stand, you will be doing drugs all your life. I have heard of crackheads in their 70s. And I have seen street people well into their 70s still screwing another man's wife. And the wife referencing something about it on social media. This is why you don't marry a woman out of the streets. The streets are her home. And in a tight moment, she will go back. And you won't know unless she tries to hurt you by telling you. Now that's a dangerous woman. And men, you are getting emotional baggage when you bring up this into your next relationship. If you ever get out of the street, you're lucky. I can only hope and pray that this message saves some souls. Some of the costs may not be recoverable, like the time you spend chasing what doesn't want to be caught. And if you are a man, you can lose yourself in the sheets of luscious women with whom you know there is no future. And women, one of your biggest perils is that over time it gets easier to just go get another man than to work on your relationship. You have learned that you can get a new man as easy as going to the store. Horny men are everywhere. So, my friends, watch these videos over and over until you get every message. Then tell your friends who you know need to hear this. This was a labor of love. Go get 'em, cowboy. You too, cowgirl. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button.